Hey there, and welcome to the FamBoss Frequency Short. My name is Chris, and I'm your host today. And man, I got a good topic today. It's one that's kind of been on my heart. I just had a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and it's this, the feeling fallacy is what I like to call it. Essentially, it's that I'll do it when I feel like it. And, if we have to be in a special place to do certain things, and that's nice. But I'm telling you, if I waited to do things till I felt like it, a lot of things wouldn't get done. And a lot of times I don't get to do the things I want to do because I got to do the other things I have to do. So what's a big business killer for people that are kind of on their own or getting started? They get to the point where they're having to do everything, and then everything starts kind of crumbling down, and they're like, well, I just don't want to do anything. So it kind of goes from one extreme to the next. So in a world where we're obsessed with find your passion, feel inspired, that's not really how the real world works. And the reality is the power company is not going to wait for me to find my passion to stroke them a check. The bank really doesn't care how I feel. They just want my money when it comes to paying my bills and paying for my trucks and equipment and all that. There's no room for that in our industry, period, and in any industry. So sometimes you kind of have to be motivated. And a wise man once said in the sales world, he said, how comfortable are you with your discomfort? And I remember hearing that for the first time. I was like, that's kind of a weird way of looking at it. But, if you don't like your circumstances, change it. I was very fortunate. I grew up, my mother was a teacher at kindergarten, and she taught first grade, but she didn't make a lot of money, but she gave us everything we needed, which was fine. So my motivation was I didn't really want to become a teacher because I saw what she went through and I wanted to do better than that. But how do we do that? So a lot of it's through trial and error. So when I picked up the paperwork and signed off on DCCI in October 2024, my motivation completely changed. I got to get this done. I was on the line for a lot of money, and not just today money, but future money. And so sometimes you have to dig really deep to find, your passion, even when you don't feel like it. Because really, I didn't sign a feel-good contract. I signed a commitment to pay this guy his money, take care of the clients that I picked up, make sure my family was taken care of. And at the end of the day, I've got responsibilities, and it's on my shoulders. And if I don't do it, then who? So case in point, we've had a couple of days this winter that have been really cold, and between my wife getting sick and flu A, flu B, and all that's been terrible. My son's in the same boat. My oldest son who works for me, and he had to be off one day, and I got a call and I had to jump out there, and the conditions were miserable. I had a ton of other things I wanted to do, but I knew this client needed assistance ASAP. So I jumped in the truck, rode out there. It took me about 15-20 minutes to get the problem solved, and I was back in the office in the hour. But had I not done that, that would have shown a lack of commitment on our part, and we don't do business that way. We want to always take care of things when they come in within 24 hours, if at all possible. So I did it because the legacy is bigger than my mood. And that day I really did not feel like going out. It was just, a combination of things. So let's talk about discipline versus motivation, because I think you can't really talk about one without talking about the other. So before the coffee kicks in, and, I got somebody calling about an accident, or I need video footage from, this truck, or this guy hadn't shown up to work yet, and I'm out in the field and I can't pull it up on my app. Where's my motivation at 6:30 in the morning? It's to help that guy find his guy and make sure all of his, details are in order, especially on a Monday morning. That seems to be the worst. So that's kind of, where I have to dig deep. I think, we can all agree the definition of discipline is doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. So, I know that my kids watch everything that I do. So if I slack, they think that's acceptable. If I come in late and leave early, they think that's acceptable. If I just, drive around with a dirty truck because I don't feel like washing it, they think that's acceptable. I have to teach them that their feelings are not the boss. Our expectations are, period. And those are non-negotiables. So how do you beat the I don't feel like it blues? It's quite simple. We commit to a task, call it the 5-minute rule. I commit to giving 110% 5 minutes in that particular task. And 99 times out of 100, the feeling follows the action, not the other way around. So once I get started, I'm like, nah, I didn't want to do this, but now I'm almost done. The other thing I ask myself is quite simple. I guess you would call it like a legacy check. Will my 70-year-old self be glad I did this today? And it reminds me of a sticker that I used to have in my notebook when I would do sales, when I first started doing outside sales. And it said, do something today that your future self will thank you for. So am I making my life easier tomorrow by doing these things today? And sometimes you have to walk away and regroup and come back. But know the difference. So in conclusion, our legacy is not built on vibes and how we feel that day. It's built on the bricks. One day at a time, one discipline at a time. So stop waiting for the feeling to show up. Move the needle today. If you need to tackle that project in your office you've been, working on, or, I've been needing to do this, been needing to do that. What's holding you up? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you valuing yourself and your people around you enough to go ahead and do those things that are kind of a pain? So stop waiting for the feeling to show up and go ahead and move that needle today. And with that being said, that is your thought for today. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for joining us here on the FamBoss Frequency. Hey, just a reminder, make sure you leave a like, follow, and comment wherever you listen to your podcast, and make sure to tell a friend. We're really looking forward to the growth, and we hope that you will join us next time. Thanks so much.